I am Vinnie Tortorich. Folks, your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, guaranteed. It's the Friday show, and today we're going to do something a little different. Here's how it's going to roll. See, at one time, do a little history here, we used to have 5 shows a week. 5. Count them. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then on Saturday, we would have a show where people would call in and tell us success stories. And then on Sunday, we did Vinnie Sunday School, and then we would start again on Monday. 5 shows a week. The problem with doing 5 podcasts a week is that people start missing way too many. They can't keep up because we're not the only podcast people listen to. They listen to, Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew, our friend Mike Rowe, and on and on and on. You name it. They got podcasts about, mysteries and everything else. There's a podcast for everything. So it came to our attention that if we did fewer shows, more people can keep up. As a matter of fact, my friend Adam Carolla used to do 5 shows a week. And I think he's down to 3 or 4 a week now also because people just can't keep up. It's too much. We were giving you guys too many shows. But the one thing I hear over and over and over again is that everyone used to love the Saturday shows. And I've done a thing where I've brought a few people on the Friday show to do success stories as a Friday show. And those shows have done quite well. What that tells me is you guys like the success stories. Well, I also listen to other podcasters out there. And I have a friend who does a podcast. He does psychology on air. And every one of his shows is basically a call-in show, right? People can call in and ask him questions and he answers them on the fly. I like the idea. So we're going to try that. At some point, we're going to have an open line where people will be able to call. Let's bring Chris in. Chris is in the background right now. Chris, are you there?
I'm here.
At some point, we may have like an 800 number so people could just call in. We'll put it out there on the Twitter sphere and everywhere else, right?
Yeah, we can try that.
Yeah, we'll do that at some point and see if we can't make it more of a thing. But I thought I would try it on this Friday show, bring in several different guests, let everyone get a chance. And we're going to do that tonight. So without any further ado, we're going to bring in our first guest. We're going to go ladies first here. Miss Natalie Shamp. Natalie, are you there?
Hi, Vinnie. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thanks for asking.
So, Natalie, I see your name from time to time. I think on X. Where do I see you? On X or Instagram or whatever?
I follow you everywhere, so I try to comment when I feel like it's necessary. So probably on X, and I'm in the VIP group, and I post in there pretty regularly.
Yeah. I look at names, and Shamp reminds me of Shemp, who was the Forgotten Stooge. And do you even know who I'm talking about right now?
I don't think I do.
Yeah, you're too young.
I'm not.
Are you familiar with the Three Stooges?
No, I was never a follower of those.
Well, there was Curly, Moe, and Larry, but sometimes it was Curly, Moe, and Shemp. Shemp is the Forgotten Stooge of the Three Stooges.
The fourth Stooge.
The fourth Stooge.
Or Stooge 3.5.
He's literally Ringo of the Stooges.
Poor Shemp.
Poor Shemp. Actually, who was the guy? Pete Best was the guy that didn't make it into the Beatles.
Oh.
Was that the guy? Am I thinking of a different name?
I do not know the answer to that. Chris would probably know.
Chris is looking it up right now. I think his name was Pete Best. He was in the Beatles and he quit to go get a job, and then the Beatles became the Beatles.
Yeah, he was the original drummer, often referred to as the fifth Beatle.
Yeah. And no, there was another fifth Beatle who was actually a black man from America. Look that up, Chris. Come on. Who is considered the fifth Beatle? He was in a studio with him a lot. He was an American. I'll give you time. While Chris is doing that, Natalie, what's on your mind?
Well, excuse me, I just took a drink of water. There's been a lot of talk lately about weightlifting, lifting heavy things. And I have been searching for something more. I've been on my journey, my NSNG journey. It'll be 2 years in April, so a little over a year and a half. And I feel pretty solid about my food and what I'm eating. And I feel pretty good about my weight. I'm okay if I lose a little more, but it's not necessary. But what I would really like to do is start gaining more muscle. And that has come to the forefront of my brain lately because you have been talking about it a lot on your podcast the last, 2 weeks or so. And so I thought we could talk about that. Like, what does a 56-year-old woman need to do? How to start? I'm pretty active now, but what I am doing, I'm not seeing the muscle mass, if you will, that I would like to see. And so I just would like to ask you and pick your brain about that.
So 56, have you exercised your whole life? Give me a little background about you and exercise. Were you a nerd in school? Were you in the band, or did you play volleyball? What was the deal? Tell me about that.
I was active. I've always been active. I ran a marathon when I was 30. I was not a nerd. I'm not that smart. I was a cheerleader, things like that. So fun, active. And then I became a flight attendant at 38 years old. And that's when I just really started gaining weight. I think as life went on, I started putting on 5-10 pounds here and there, but I've just never been a heavy person. Which I think is a little bit of a curse, because I always knew that I didn't feel right, but I was not heavy. So of course I was healthy, right? They tell you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So in any event, I spent 16 years as a flight attendant, and I just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And my diet and exercise basically just went to poop. Like, I literally would eat at restaurants every night, lack of sleep. You're having beer with your burger, wine with your cheesecake, whatever the case may be. You're always on vacation. And so I had the opportunity during COVID to start working from home. And so I went ahead and took it and retired as a flight attendant. And so I regained my interest, I guess, in myself again. And so I have been, and I tried really hard to be active, but it's really hard to be active when you're 40 pounds overweight. And I say 40 pounds overweight doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but I'm only 5'3", so that was a lot of weight to carry around. And menopause and you name it. I just was feeling like absolute dog crap. Yeah. So I found you on Mike Rowe 2.0. It just was one of those days where it was just a fluke that I turned on a podcast and you just happened to be the one. And I haven't listened to Mike Rowe podcasts in years. And I get choked up when I say it every time. That day when I heard you, I felt like you were talking to me, and it means so much to me that I found this way. And it means a lot to me because I found this way that I was willing to try. And I have cured so many things in my body and in my life that I just didn't even know was a thing. And so, excuse me, let me just catch my breath. And so I thank you for that. I know that you say you don't do it, but you're the reason why I started this. And I will always feel a certain connection to you for that reason. And I have been working so hard the last almost 2 years. Before that, I was trying to be active, and I tried to be on a 1,200 calorie diet, and I was exhausted, and I was freaking starving. And so with this way of eating, I lost 35, 40 pounds, maybe more. I don't really know. But I'm only about 10 pounds away from my high school weight. I remember hearing you talk about your mom being her high school weight. And I thought, oh my God, she's so lucky. I'll never be that way. And I'm almost there. But I've been working really, really hard on everything. And so I feel like this is sort of a new step for me to lift heavy things, because it's one of the things I think I'm missing in my activities. And so I just thought I would see if you could help me get started on something, or maybe what I'm doing is fine and you're just like, it's, you're doing fine.
Well, look, the beauty is that you're already doing it, right? And just curious, because I do always say that it's you, it's not me. Did you just happen to plunk down the Adam Carolla show that day, or was it Adam Carolla, Mike Rowe, or was it, oh, this guy's going to be talking about health and fitness, maybe I'll tune in?
I did not know you were going to be talking about health and fitness. I think the title was "Where's the Beef?" And I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. I'll listen to this one. It literally was just a fluke. One of the things that you said that made so much sense to me, almost everything, but the one thing that really sticks in my brain is that you really talked about dietary ketosis as opposed to a diabetic ketosis. And I've been taught my whole life to be afraid of ketosis because that's a fast track to the ER and death. Right.
You're thinking ketoacidosis, which happens through diabetes. Yeah, it can kill you.
Yeah. So you explained that, and I was like, oh my God, how dumb am I? You make so much sense. And so therefore I was not afraid to go forward with everything that you were talking about.
Okay. So, good job. And again, it's hard work, and you've done the hard work. That last 10 pounds will come off. But what you may notice is a lot of, if we start putting on a little muscle, and it takes a long time to put on muscle, you will notice more non-scale victories, meaning your weight might not go down as much as you're gaining some muscle. Now, people think, oh yeah, I can put on 2, 3, 4 pounds of muscle a month. You can't. For a woman your height at your age, in 6 months, you might put on 2, 3 pounds of muscle. And you go, well, geez, is that juice worth the squeeze? Right? Why am I, especially when you see these women on Instagram with the bulbous shoulders, striations in their stomach and the whole thing, they're going to be dead before they're 35. I'm sorry. When you take that amount of drugs, women are not supposed to look like that. But you can look, at your age, you can have a youthful look, the kind of look you had in your 30s and 40s. It doesn't happen overnight. So you'll say, okay, I'm kicking my ass. I'm beating myself half to death just to put on 2, 3, 4 pounds of muscle in a half a year, or maybe a year, right? It could take that long for someone your height. Why would I do it? I'll tell you exactly why you should do it. Because if you don't, sarcopenia is going to take off, is going to take over, and you can end up losing a whole pound of muscle in that year. So let's say you don't put on 2 or 3 pounds of muscle. Let's say you only stay even. You've already won. You've already won. That's it, right? But the fact of the matter is, depending on how hard, and you said you've taken your life back and you start taking an interest in yourself. That happens to a lot of women after menopause. Even though I know that the menopause is still, messing with you a little bit, and is going to keep messing with you. Newsflash. Women, when they go through women, I can only go from my experience and a few women I've worked with over the years. And by a few, I mean a lot. You feel like it's hopeless. I'm no longer useful to the world. I can't have babies anymore. Look at my hands. I have liver spots. My skin is droopy. My tits have fallen to my waist. I don't know what the hell I'm doing anymore. all the things that you say to yourself. I'm invisible now. Guys don't look at me anymore. All the things that women tell themselves, right? Yet after menopause, some of you guys wake up and go, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going down like that. I'm gonna keep swinging. I'm gonna start swinging for the fences. I'm gonna see if I can hit one out of the park. And it seems like you're one of those people, Natalie. And it seems like you're going to do what it takes. I get that gut feeling about you. You have that look in your eye, right? Now, the question becomes, what should I do? Well, there's several different ways to skin that cat, right? Chris, at some point, please, Chris, just write this down. You don't have to come on the mic. I need to write up or do some. I really have to put this together. I know we're busy with the vitamin company and getting everything straight, but as soon as we have that rolling, I have to put together strength training routines, both written down for people to have and also videos. Okay? All right. Now, Natalie, back to you. Since we don't have that written down yet. The things that are important is at least twice a week, you need to push something away from you and you need to pull something towards you. You also need to do pushes with your legs. Now, all of that sounds simple. Let me give you an idea. Do you have a gym available to you?
I do.
Is it a home gym or are you going to the gym in town?
I can go to the gym in town. I can do like machine workouts. Yeah.
Okay. I'd rather see you go to town. If you have a place to go, it makes everything that much easier. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Now, I need to know from you, how many days a week can you devote to lifting weights? Now, you can say 1 or you can say 7. You tell me what you can reasonably do.
I can do 2 to 3 days a week. Can I ask a follow-up question with that?
No follow-up,
Okay.
of course. Yeah.
I do Pilates 2 to 3 times a week. And the other days I do yoga and then I swim 3 days a week. I am not seeing the muscle that I would like to see. So I guess I should have probably said that in the beginning of my question. So should I replace 2 of those days a week with weights?
Yeah. All right. So look, Pilates is like doing light weightlifting, right? It's like doing high rep weightlifting. You're working your muscles anaerobically. Did you say yoga?
Yes.
Okay. Yoga is stretching. Do not stop doing yoga.
Okay.
And I know you're going, well, wait, we do that warrior pose and it kicks my ass, right? Or whatever you're going to tell me. I saw it written on your face.
Yoga's hard. Yoga's really hard for me.
Yeah. Her name is Hillary, but everyone calls her Killary because she really kills us in yoga. Okay. I'm tired of it. I don't want to hear it. And yeah, you're going to do a couple of moves that's going to be good for your core and everything else. But by and large, yoga is a massage. And that's why, you're not going to see the muscle gains. But keep doing yoga because as you get older, I stretch like an MFer and I'm still getting tighter as I go. And it bothers me to no end. It's one of the things that gets to me like nothing else. Okay. Just know that. You're going to have to forsake some of your Pilates classes to go do weightlifting. Now, if you do that, are we still in 3 days a week or can we bump it to 4 or what are we doing here?
For weightlifting?
Yeah. If we cut out some yoga, I'm sorry, some Pilates.
I do Pilates 3 times a week, 2 to 3 times. I can commit for sure 2 times a week and then 3 if I don't have anything going on that week, if that makes sense.
Okay. The way you're going to put muscle on, so you're going to have to decide what you're going to do.
Okay.
The way we put muscle on is to stimulate a muscle and then let it rest. You don't want to stimulate the same muscle 2 days in a row. As a matter of fact, let's say you stimulated a muscle on Monday. You don't want to hit that same muscle on Tuesday or Wednesday, but on Thursday, now you're free to go again. Right?
Yes.
So whenever you look at weightlifting programs, you know, if you were going twice a week, like if you said, Vinny, I only have twice a week, I would have you doing 1 set to failure, complete workout on Monday, and 1 set to failure, complete workout on Friday. Because that's the only way you're going to get the results.
Okay.
Right? But if you said, okay, Vinny, I have 3 days a week to work out, I would have you do a push-pull routine on Monday, a leg routine, say on Wednesday, a push-pull routine again on Friday. Now, notice you've only done legs once, which is okay because you do a lot of legs in Pilates. But the next week, I'm going to have you do legs on Monday, push-pull on Wednesday, and legs on Friday. That's another way to do a routine. I see you're writing all this down. That's fine because you're going to have to decide which one you want. So I gave you a 2-day-a-week routine, and now I just gave you a way to do 3 days a week. Now, the 2 days a week is actually a little better because you're hitting every muscle twice in a week. And on the 3-day routine I gave you, every other week you're hitting your upper body twice, and the next week your lower body twice. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. If you said, Vinny, I have 4 days a week, now we're cooking because we can do Monday, we can do push-pull. Tuesday, we can do legs. Wednesday, we'll take off, maybe even take off Thursday. And then Friday, we'll do push-pull. Saturday, we'll do legs, take off, I don't know, Sunday, Monday, and then start over or whatever you wanted to do. Or you could do Monday, Tuesday, take off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, take the whole weekend off and go do all the yoga you want. That's a 4-day-a-week routine. Okay. 5-day-a-week routine, not really a thing. But a 6-day-a-week routine is what I like to call the bro split, right? This is what all the bros do because this goes back to the golden age of bodybuilding. Push, pull, legs. So Monday push, Tuesday pull, Wednesday legs. Thursday push, Friday pull, Saturday legs. And then you take Sunday off and start over again. Right? So you'll go, geez, that's working out every day. That's a lot of stimulation. But one day you're only stimulating the push. The next day you're stimulating pull. The third day legs. You have to decide what you want to do. Now, what are the important exercises? Well, as far as push goes, you can push in 3 different directions. You can push over your head. If people are watching the video, I'm pressing my hands over my head. That's like a shoulder press. You could push in front of you. That's a bench press or a push-up for people who don't have a gym to go to. You can do an incline bench, which is in between a shoulder press and a flat bench. That's working the top part of your pec. So that's 3 different ways you can push. And if your gym has a dip assist bar where you could do dips and push straight down, that's a 4th way to push. If you did nothing else except push up, push out, and push down, you've done everything you can do. You've worked your triceps, you've worked your shoulders, your deltoids, your pecs. You've done everything you can do, period. Now, if you want to get fancy, throw in some chest flies just to accent the push on your pecs. If you want to do some side delt raises just to accent the delts, it depends on the kind of time you have. And that's where, when I write up these programs, I'm going to show people what they have to do and what they can add in, right? Chris, please tell me that. Chris, can you jump in for a second and tell me that you wrote down that I need to do this in the new year?
I wrote it and I texted it to you.
Okay, don't text me. I'm not going to read it. Just write it down.
It's in my book, and if it's in my book, that means it ends up in your book, typically.
Chris, it needs to happen in the new year because, look, Natalie, I would have had this done already, but I had to take over the vitamin company. I had to fire some people, and we're almost there. We're at the finish line. And once I have everything rolling again, then I can set my sights on doing what I really love and not make money and do things like this. All right. So if you did one set to failure, right, on Monday and Friday, the way it would look is you would do one set of shoulder press until you couldn't get another one up, one set of bench press, and if it's on a machine, you could do it, and really go until you can't press another one up, and then one set of dips until you couldn't do another one, and then if you wanted to do a set of triceps or a set of flies, that's up to you. But you've now done everything you need to do on the push, and then the pull comes, right? Well, there's only 3 ways you can pull. You can pull a lat bar down or a pull up. You can pull something toward you. We generally call that a rowing, a row. You can do it with a bar. You can do it with cables. You can do it with a one-arm dumbbell. And you can pull up. You can do a high pull where you're pulling the weight from right at your hips, keeping your elbows above the bar and lifting it to right under your chin, right? Now you've done all the pulling you need to do. If you want to do some biceps on top of that, just to crank it out, knock yourself out. If you did one set of all of those to failure and then went to your legs and did leg extensions, leg curls, one set of failure leg press, and then one set failure calf raise, you can walk out of that gym and say, I've done a complete workout. The key is you have to have the mental fortitude to go to failure. And that's not easy. I can do it, and I hate it. I know what it feels like. I hate my buddy Don Coddington.
It's the billionaire Don Coddington's Friday 5 o'clock.
Don does it, but he goes to a trainer that stands over him and literally, cracks the whip. It's tough. So that's how you get a complete workout in 2 days a week. If you want to split it up in any of those other fashions, same exercises, except now instead of spending, I think you could do a full body one set to failure, probably 30, 35 minutes. If I was coaching you, I'd get you out of there in about 30 minutes because you want to just go right to the next exercise, right? If you were doing push-pull legs, you could be in and out on any given day in 20, 30 minutes. People see me in the gym and they'll go, dude, you look pretty good for an old man. And I'll say, oh, thank you. And I'll go, but you come after we get here and you leave way before we're done. It's like, yeah, because I'm not overworking. I'm stimulating a muscle and I'm getting the hell out of here. That's it. You stimulate, you move on. Right?
Yeah, that's what I would like to do because I got to be honest, lifting weights is so boring to me. But I know it's probably the best way for my old lady body to have is some muscle.
I'm going to teach you something about lifting weights to make it less boring. Books, I still call them books on tape, but Audible. Books on Audible. Very good idea. Podcast. I like, now that we have podcasts, I'll listen to podcasts, right? That's the easy way to do it. And if I'm getting ready to get under a set, like squats or something, or if I'm going to failure and someone's over me to help me, I'll turn it off, right? So I can really concentrate. And in between sets, I'll just turn it back on. You just click your ear and it comes back on and off. It's a great way to beat the boredom.
Okay.
Right. And on Sundays when I'm watching football, my television is over there in my office and I have a squat rack behind me. Mm-hmm. Great way to exercise when you're watching football because you don't have to watch every single play. You just have to get the gestalt of what's going on. Oh, he threw an interception. I saw it. Okay, great. And you move on. Right. So
right.
Something in the background just to distract you from what you're doing. Does that make sense?
For sure. And I have put off doing weights. I've done some of your little weight, you have YouTube videos. I've done some of those and I end up just getting a little bit bored. But I think I'm ready now, if that makes sense. I feel like I've primed my body to, I have the base and I'm ready to start taking my goals a little bit higher, if you will. Because I really would like to have some muscle. I feel like the forever wave is there. And, I'd like to, tone that down a smidge if I can. And so, and I do want to look like I have some muscle. I work out so hard and it doesn't look like I work out that hard.
Well, because you got to work out. I know it sounds crazy. You're going to beat the boredom by knowing that you have a goal. I can't lie to you. Weightlifting is as boring as it gets, right? It's boring. It's like fifth period French. It's just boring, right? You can beat that boredom by doing what I just said. Now,
I am up for the challenge.
I would love for you to come back on a subsequent Friday show, and we'll talk about and see progress. You're going to have more questions than answers. So we'll bring you back on. I appreciate you coming on today. We have other people to get to. They've been waiting patiently. And so thank you. It's great talking to you tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And I look forward to my progress, and I'm sure I'll have questions. So I'll bring them up.
Yeah. Just keep us posted.
I will. Thank you. Thank you, Vinny.
Great talking to you tonight, Natalie. Chris, he's been waiting a long. Yeah, go on.
We have Miss Teresa up next, but before we do that, Vinny, we have to go back to the conversation we were having before Natalie asked her question. Believe you were looking for Billy Preston.
Billy Preston, you got it. You got it. Ding, ding, ding. The fifth. He was known as the fifth Beatle. By the way, we're not going to bring Teresa up next. Because I think David was in the room before Teresa. So we're going to go with that because David has been waiting patiently. Teresa was running late, and we have to punish her for that tardiness. And she's saying something, and luckily I can't hear it.
We brought out Principal Vinny.
Yeah,
it's all we need to know.
You will learn, Teresa, to be on time next time. So we're going to bring David on, but I think we have lead-in music. Bring David up for me if you don't mind.
There he is.
Hello, Vinny.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Hang on.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Chris
it
thought I shaved it off.
Was that Dave?
I said, Chris thought I shaved it off.
No, there it is. You do
Chris was
look like
worried
members
you
of
shaved it
ZZ
off.
Top. I mean, how long is that beard, David?
I don't know. If I have to guess, maybe 4 inches.
No, not 4 inches.
Well, maybe not. Maybe longer.
That thing's going down to your belt. That's got to be 8 inches.
Maybe 8 inches.
He's the only guy in the world that would call that 4 inches, by the way.
His wife has now convinced him of what 4 inches is. So, David, yeah, folks, if you want to see David, go on and watch this on YouTube. The man looks like he belongs in ZZ Top. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
So,
real
real quick, I'm down. I went down 1 pound. I'm below that 280 mark. I hit 179 yesterday.
Where did you start, David? Let's tell everyone where you started.
389 pounds. So 390 pounds.
390 pounds, and you're down to what?
279 as of yesterday.
Carry to one. That's 110 pounds.
Yes, sir.
Give or take. You've lost a whole human being. You've literally lost Natalie Champ. That's about what you've lost. The woman who's talking to you lost her.
Yep. Yes,
Dude,
sir. And I feel great.
You should, man. You should. I mean, everyone seems to love it. The audience is going nuts. So, what's on your mind tonight, Dave?
I got a couple questions. First question, I got a bad shoulder. I got to do surgery on it, but I'm trying to do some exercise with it, but my rotary cuff is just not working right.
What's the problem with the shoulder? What are they telling you it is? What's
So,
your
back in June of 23, I was in an auto accident. A guy hit me at 65 miles an hour in my driver door, and it tore up. I don't know what they call it, but pretty much everything in the back of it, my rotary cuff. The socket, I guess, has got a splinter in it, and it's catching on the it's not turning right.
So they're going to put a new joint in?
No, they don't have to do that. They just got to go in, fix the tendons, and then grind off the ball.
Are they going to open you up, or they're going to do it with scopes?
It's going to be scope.
Yeah. So you're doing what we call a cleanup.
Yes.
Back in my day, before I had my replacement, I had probably 3 or 4 cleanups. The best thing. All right. So, Dave, it's really tough for me to recommend exercise for someone that's got an impingement right now, because I know what that feels like. Right.
Yeah.
So it comes down to do what you can do. So in other words, I know this sounds crazy, but I wouldn't tell you to try to lift or do high pulls or do, deltoid raises or anything like that, because it can be a lot of pain. Right. But you might be, and this is the only time, mark today down in the calendar, doing things like curls and triceps could be your friend right now, because you could get more blood to the area, which isn't a bad thing. Is it going to do a lot for you? Absolutely not, but it's something. It's something you can do. The other thing that folks don't really understand when it comes to before and right after surgery, the better aerobic shape you're in, the better the surgery goes. Even though they're just going to knock you out for, an hour or so to clean it up, do that kind of thing, maybe 2 hours. Getting into an aerobic program now, even just walking. How long do you have before you go in?
It's next year around March.
So you have time. You have months. If you could, do you have a spinner at home, or can you get to a gym with a spinner?
I bought a spinner about I'd say about 6 months ago, and I'm on it. I've actually, because I got my legs are bad too, my knees are bad. But I've actually got to where I can ride that spinner for about 2 hours a day.
Good. The more the merrier for you right now. And after the surgery, as soon as you can get on that spinner again without, putting the pressure on that arm is going to hurt a little bit. But as soon as you can get back on it right afterwards, do it. It makes a big difference. It really does.
I've noticed a difference, because when I first got the spinner back, or when I first bought the spinner, I get about 5-10 minutes and I was done. And now I'm up to, like I said, I'm up to about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours now.
You're doing the kind of stuff I'm doing over here. Literally, you're doing big time stuff. I spend a shit ton of time doing aerobics every day, as you know. So good. And as soon as you can get on it right afterwards, do it. The circulation means a lot, more than people would think. I'll never forget whenever I did my my last one, where they did the complete replacement. My doctor said, go to a gym, find a recumbent bike, because I couldn't put any pressure on it, and just get on that recumbent bike. It really helps. So, boom, get it done. What else you got over there?
The next question, this one's kind of for my wife. She had about 8 months ago, she had gallstones. They opted to do an herbal treatment, and now they're going back this Friday to do the ultrasound, see if they're gone. She says she's feeling better, but she's still not the best. But I'm kind of curious on what to expect if they have to take the gallbladder out.
As far as what to expect with
what can she eat, what she can't eat, because the doctors tell them one thing, and then she's got other people telling her other things.
The doctors are going to tell her that she's got to eat more vegetables and less meat and all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
I cannot give medical advice against what a doctor says. But what I will tell you is, go in the group. You're in the VIP group, right?
Yes, sir.
Go in the VIP group and ask other people who have had their gallbladder removed, and ask them if they cut meat out, and hear what they have to say.
Yeah. That's the one thing my wife has done since I've started this. She's actually gotten more meat and less vegetables. She says she's feeling 100% better.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I was kind of curious on that, because the doctors are saying you'll have to go no meat to vegetables, and I disagree with that. But yeah, I'll get on the group and ask.
Yeah, I can't give advice, but I'm telling you, I talk to people every day that was doing what the doctors told them to do. And then they decided, oh, they saw Sean Baker over here or Dr. Berry over there talking about meat. And they went back on meat after they lost their gallbladder to a surgery and ended up doing just fine, even better than before. So don't take it from me. I can't give medical advice, but I can say, go listen to what other people are doing out there and you'll be shocked. You'll be pleasantly.
Sir, I appreciate that.
I can't give advice either, but I can say after having my gallbladder taken out, I eat substantially more meat and fat, and I weigh 75 pounds less than I did when they took it out. So I'm doing something right.
That was one heavy gallbladder.
Yeah. You know, it was just real inflamed, Vinny, real inflamed. No, that was one of the things that started me on this journey was them telling me at the age of 21, being the only male that surgeon had ever operated on and the youngest person by about 15 years. And he looked at me and said, you know, basically you're never eating meat or fat again. And I said, that seems dumb. And then woke up from anesthesia and started to try to figure out how to make it work. And again, you know, it's not medical advice by any stretch of the imagination, but it takes a little bit of getting used to. There are some things you can do to speed that process along. One of the things that's worked for me was taking ox bile while you're trying to start to reinitiate all of the processes that are going on the inside. But meat, fat, any of those kinds of things, not a problem at all. A few weeks, a few months, a few years down the road.
Yeah, that's what I've kind of read and been hearing a little bit about. But you know, the doctors are always saying, you know, less meat, less meat. That was even with me with the diabetes side of it. You know, less meat, more vegetables, more fruits.
Yeah, and look how that works out. I mean, you're better off now than you were before. So, you know, take that advice and go with it.
Perfect.
Well, it's good hearing from you, brother. You keep up the great work.
I'm working on it, but Whole Foods work. I was surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I know Whole Foods work. So,
No, they do. Just and you look great. The beard is awesome. As a matter of fact, Chris, you know, I used to grow the Christmas beard it usually starts around Thanksgiving time. So I would have to start concentrating on not shaving pretty soon.
I like that, concentrating on not shaving.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you know, tomorrow morning I'm going to talk to a Rotary Club at 7 a.m. So I have to shave for that. I can't walk in looking like this. And
that looks good, Vinny.
yeah, you know, these guys, I got to wear a jacket and the whole thing, and they want me to do a song and dance. So I got to go dance for my breakfast with the Rotary Club here in town. It's like, do you guys realize who you invited to go speak? It's like, you guys might want to think about this stuff. But yeah, I need to shave tonight. Maybe I'll just stop after that and grow my Christmas beard.
There you go.
Yeah, I doubt I'll get to where you are, David, but good luck with all. Keep us posted on you and your wife, and keep up the great work, brother.
Yes, sir. I'll keep doing it.
And there he goes, Chris. He's got playoff music, too. We play him off.
He's got more music than billionaire Don Coddington has.
Who?
Billionaire Don Coddington.
Billionaire Don Coddington's Friday 5 o'clock blast off.
Yeah, that's the way it works. Yeah. It's like Beetlejuice. All right, we've made her wait long enough. We sent her out of the room and made her think about if she had to repent. She's done a contrition, and so here she is, folks. Teresa Nickerson. How you doing, Teresa?
Good, Vinny. How you doing? I'm sorry I'm late.
That's all right. No, I couldn't make David wait. I mean, the guy's sitting there with his
No,
beard.
that's all right.
The beard was
Sorry.
4 inches when he started this podcast, and it went to like 8 inches. I mean, it took him a long time. Yeah. So how are you doing this evening?
Well, I'm doing great. I apologize for the lighting. I can't find a good lighted place in my house for anything.
I
So
love
the
that
lighting is a
ceiling.
little weird, but
It looks like you're in the sauna. I love that ceiling. I love
I'm
wood.
in my basement, and yeah, we put up pine boards for the ceiling instead of drop ceiling, and we
Yeah.
did it's called a pickle wash, and it's like a whitewash kind of thing. So you still see the knots and stuff on the boards.
I did a thing. This basement had a drop ceiling in it. And I came in, before we moved into the house, I came in with just a hammer one day. And I just started, I took the hooks out of the hammer. And I just started yanking on it. I mean, HVAC, tubes were, came rolling out, wires everywhere. It cost me a gazillion bucks to get all the wires done right and get all the copper pipes looking straight. To make it look industrial cost me a gazillion dollars.
Same.
And, but but now I have a higher ceiling. I was able to put this weightlifting rack in. It wouldn't fit with the drop ceiling because it dropped down. I wouldn't have been able to do push-ups. I would have hit my head on the drop ceiling.
Yeah.
And
same. This cost a fortune for pine boards all the way across, but it looks great.
No, it does look great. I might take your advice and do something like that. I mean, that's beautiful.
Take your checkbook.
Please. Every time we do anything, it's like, will we survive this? Will we make it? We're using retirement.
I don't know. It's going to be great when it's done. That's what we keep saying.
So where are you in the world?
I am in northern New York, border of the Adirondack Mountains.
You're pretty close to when you get up there. There's a little fall up there, right? There's Niagara Falls, a little north of you.
No, that's over by Buffalo.
So you're not that high up?
No. Well, we're more east.
Got it.
More east. Syracuse.
Okay.
We're northeast. I'm an hour and a half northeast of Syracuse.
Yeah, I know exactly where you are. It's beautiful country up there.
Yep. In the mountains. Yep.
Love it. Love hearing that. Tell me about yourself. What are we talking about tonight, Teresa?
Well, I am struggling terribly with the sugar cravings. I am a full-on addict, and I'll do good for, 2 days. I'll do good for 5 days. I'll do good for 10 days. And it all falls back to, I'll go right back to my old, haunts of sugar. And I am just struggling to kick that habit. I cannot, it's holding me back. I can't lose the weight. I NSNG to a fault with the rest of my food, NSNG is like a religion to me. I preach it to whoever will listen. It's something I fully believe in. It's the only thing that I've ever heard, any diet plan I've ever heard that made sense. Right from day one, Mike Rowe 1.0, it made sense. And so I truly, fully believe in it, but I can't kick the sugar habit. And I need to know some tips or help on how to help me kick the sugar.
Okay. Have you had any success with it other than 10 days? Have you gotten to 30 days ever? Anything like that?
Yeah, once or twice, maybe. I've gotten, you get 30 days or whatever.
Do you have any metabolic problems? Fatty liver, any of the stuff?
Nope.
See, I think it's because you're young and it hasn't caught you yet.
I'm 50. I'll be 56 next month.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Well, with you and Natalie, what the hell are you guys doing?
Oh, she's in California. It's different over there.
You guys are doing something I need to do because you both look a lot younger than. Well, congratulations on that. This is the toughest of tough love.
I need to hear it. You need to say
all right,
it.
listen, I know what you're going through. I personally know what you're going through. I'm a sugar addict. And I have to avoid it like it's a rattlesnake. I really do. Before my first cancer diagnosis in 2007, I was able to get away with it, right? Because I was this ultra cyclist and, I would binge, right? I wouldn't eat sugar for like a week or two. Like if I went out and rode a bike for 12, 15 hours on a Saturday, I guarantee you I was going to go out and eat Saturday night or something, get home and eat. And then you name it, man. It could be, you know, I would stop. Whole Foods wasn't far from my house. I love pure chocolate. Like, I don't really like Snickers and all. I like pure chocolate, and I love milk chocolate. I would buy, you know, those big bars.
Yeah.
I'd buy like 3 or 4 of them and tell myself, this will last me. I'm just buying because, you know the lies you tell yourself.
Oh, yes. All the thing. I'll just eat half. I'll just eat a
Yeah.
part.
I'll just eat a piece and all that.
Yeah.
As soon as that first piece goes in,
The whole thing.
I was like Tony Montana with Coke. If I just snorting it all up, you know?
Yeah.
And before I knew it,
I
it was
do
like I had a stomach ache. I was nauseous. And you would think that would stop me, and it would stop me for about a half an hour. But then I'd go right back. Right? If I went home and my mom made like a pecan pie, I could tell myself I'm going to have a sliver. But before long, half of that pie is gone. And then I would wait a few hours until the nausea went away or whatever. Think about the sugar in a pecan pie. It's basically just sugar and pecans.
Yeah.
Right? I can wipe out a pie, no problem. Right? I don't stop until it's gone. I get it. But I was able to get away with it, right? Until I wasn't, and then after cancer, I had to get serious, right? I didn't want cancer to come back. So I started treating sugar like it was a rattlesnake, right? And truth be known, I'm not a big alcohol drinker, but I talk about only drinking wine when I'm with my sister-in-law because I never see my sister-in-law. So it's easier that way. But one of the main reasons I don't drink a glass of wine is because it will trigger that sugar thing where now my brain is looking for it. Right?
Yep.
It helps that I'm married now because I'm not going to get in my car and leave the house and come back with sugar. Right? But it's better just not to drink the wine. Does that make sense?
Yeah. My thing is I'll hide it. I'll hide the sugar, then nobody sees me eating it, then they don't know that I'm doing it.
Well, yeah, and you know what that is?
An addict.
That's what addicts do. I've sat, I got a friend who's an alcoholic, and I've been to meetings with him a lot. And when I hear him talk about, when I hear everybody in the meetings talk about, oh, I kept a bottle of vodka in the toilet in the top, or stuffed in the coat pocket in my bedroom. I keep the vodka in it because people can't really smell vodka. It's like, wow, I've done that with sugar.
Yeah.
Right. And that's when I first started realizing years ago, I'm an addict. I'm doing what these people are doing. Right. Have you ever done a thing where you've eaten so many wrappers that you tuck them under other garbage so that someone doesn't walk in and see it on top?
Yes, all the time.
Yeah. I mean,
All the
that's a
time.
real thing. That's a real thing. Right. And I've learned that the only way to beat this habit is to just go all in. Now, there's an elephant in the room. It's called Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming up.
And then all the holiday parties.
Yeah. It's all coming up. So you need to make a decision. Right? And it's going to be a hard decision, Teresa. Do you start right now tonight and wonder if you're going to fail again? Right?
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Or do you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to start tonight. Thanksgiving's going to come. And, do you have a lot of family around you for Thanksgiving? Is it a festive time for you?
Just for the one day. It's just for the day, Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah. It's a tough day. Look, excuse me, it's a motherfucker.
It is.
Right? Because I'm going to be in Louisiana. I know what you're going through. You're going to be around family and all those old feelings, and everyone else is doing stuff and drinking stuff and eating stuff. and you're sitting there not doing it, man. And so you got to ask yourself, do I do everything I can right now and carve out that one day, right? And tell yourself, maybe make some rules about that day, right? Will I just have my favorite pie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will I stay away from all of the other stuff that's going to trigger me to want to eat sugar? And then can I get right back on the next day? Meaning, don't take it home with you. When people, now Teresa, bring some pie home with you, right? It's not going to, you can't do it. You can't do it. You have to leave it behind. And then you have to go all the way to Christmas. You got a whole month.
Yep.
Right? So I'm allowing you, I'm as if I have any dominion over you. I'm allowing you, I'm telling you it's okay on those 2 days to do something. But then after that Christmas move, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And I'm here. Are you in the VIP group, Teresa?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I'm here for you.
Okay.
We can talk in a VIP group.
Mm-hmm.
And you can come up. I'll do whatever it takes. Right? If you need a free consult right after Thanksgiving or right after Christmas, Chris, can you get Teresa's information? If she needs a free consult, I want her to be able to text me or do something so that I can help you.
Thank you.
Right? Because I know what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hold your hand, but you got it. You realize that you got to walk through that fire.
Yep.
And it's not going to be easy. But if you could put 30 days together after Thanksgiving, you might not even want anything for Christmas. You might just go, you know what? I put 30 days together. I'd be damned if I'm going to eat that, whatever, fill in the blank.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But between now and January 1st, I'm giving you permission on 2 days because I always say it's not what you eat between Christmas and New Year's that counts. It's what you eat between New Year's and Christmas, right? It's what we do most of the time that matters.
Yeah.
And at your age, 56, you got to do it now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do everything in my power to help you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Because I want to have the conversation like Natalie just had with the exercise.
Yeah.
But first I need to drop some weight to get to that point that's my focus.
Well, one thing at a time. Let's do one thing right.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's good to hear. That's why I wanted to do this again, because what we're doing right now is not just helping you, Teresa. You're a brave human being to come on and do this. You're doing this out loud in public. But just like, Scott King, just like Tim, what's Tim's last name, Chris? I can't think of Tim Mannion. I can't think of his last name right now. I'm picturing the guy in my head. All these guys that are on X and they're putting themselves out there. You're one of those, you're doing that right now. You're helping someone else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
No, I'm looking for Tim's name. Why can't I think of Tim's last name, Chris?
The only Tim I can think of is Noakes. That's the only name that's occurring to me.
No, it's Mallion because it sounds like stallion.
Mallion the stallion.
There it is.
Yeah.
Natalie
Mallion
got us.
stallion. See, Natalie knows. But look, you guys are putting yourself out there. You're making yourself accountable, yet other people are going to hear your story. You're going to help them, but you also have to do it. You have to become a hero, right? It's the toughest thing in the world. I've beaten it. I know it can be beaten. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Chris, make sure you get Teresa's information. If she needs some hand holding over the holidays, I'm here.
I appreciate it so much, Vinnie.
No,
Thank
listen,
you.
anybody that's going to put pine on their roof is a friend of mine.
Well, it is a log cabin. You need more wood.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling my wife. You need more wood. It's horrible. I shouldn't have said that. Poor woman. Yeah. Oh,
You know what that reminds me of just a little bit, Vinny, just to give you a throwback to a couple episodes ago. Looks like she's standing in an ice fishing cabin.
I thought about that too. It's like, is she out in the garage? Where is she? But
I'm in the basement.
yeah, that's good looking wood. If I do say so myself.
I'll make sure I tell my husband.
Yeah, tell him he did whoever put it up there did a good job.
Yeah, it cost a fortune, but it was worth it just for a night like tonight.
It cost $1 million to look broke.
$1 million.
That's what I always say about my room. This room cost me $1 million to make it look shabby.
Yeah.
I wish you could see what I have going on up here. It was horrible what we had before. Teresa, look, I get it. It's rough. We're going to help you. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Pumpkin.
Thank
you have a great evening.
Thanks.
And by the way, before I let you go, Teresa.
Yeah.
Did you like this podcast like this, doing this?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's great. I was, Chris reached out, and here I've been tossing around literally all week. Do I call Vinny for a consult? Do I call Vinny for a consult? Tossing around. And then Chris messaged me today, hey, do you have a question? We want to do a question and answer podcast. I was like, oh my gosh, perfect timing. I am struggling so hard right now.
Look at that. Yeah, you see, you're about to pay for something you got for free.
I know. Thank you.
Boom.
That's the universe at work right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, things happen for a reason.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't thank you enough for coming on. So thank you. Chris, we got to do a Villa Capelli ad. Villa Capelli, folks. Villa Capelli. Now listen, you can go buy other olive oil, right? Look, you go get some other olive oil. I don't know what you're getting. It might be good. It might not. Who knows? But, you can cut it up to 40% in this country and still call it 100% pure olive oil. I see where everyone's going after RFK right now because he's talking about seed oils and he's going to do something about it. And I see all these idiots online drinking Wesson oil. I don't know if the joke is on you if you think you're getting to RFK. He's trying to help people and you're over there, drinking seed oils. Good luck. Villa Capelli, folks. Villa Capelli is the real deal. You want to save 10%, put in promo code Vinnie, VINNIE. You'll save 10%. Rate and review this podcast. If you like what's going on here, rate it and review it. That's how other people find us. What else do we have? VIP group. That's closed by the time this comes out, right, Chris?
This is coming out after the one we did yesterday.
Yeah, I think this comes out Friday.
This Friday?
Maybe. Look, if this comes out on the 22nd,
if this is the 22nd as you're listening to this, it closes at midnight tonight. Yeah, so it's vinnietortorich.com/rowe, ROWE. You can get in on that ticket, and then we're shutting it down. We did mention something during the podcast, and it made me think of this song, so I will play it right at the end of the show. So, on behalf of Natalie Shamp, Chris Schaffer, Teresa Nickerson, and David Woods, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living and do it with Eric Burden in War.